Welcome to the Quit Vaping podcast, the podcast designed to make you a non-listener. In this show, I'm not going to scare you away from a life of vaping. What I am going to do is show you just how good your life can be without it. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the show. All right, guys, so welcome to today's podcast episode. This is going to be called The Success Formula, and this was sparked after a couple of consultations and conversations I had with potential clients this week, and I want to let you guys know. So if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you will know, hopefully by now, that this podcast isn't really just about quitting vaping. Yes, I'm a business owner, and in order to get you to give a shit about what I'm talking about, I have to sell you on a result that you want, which right now is quitting vaping. Okay, but also as a business owner, I know that I have a bigger plan for you than just quitting vaping. If it was just about quitting vaping, I would just write a book about changing your thoughts and then it'd be okay. But it's not about that. This whole podcast, the coaching I do, the courses I provide, is about teaching you the skill set of managing your thoughts and your emotions, right? The mental and emotional addiction, so that you can courageously step into the life that you want. So in today's episode, I'm going to go over the success formula. It's just my 5 steps towards creating a life you really do want, like one that actually is going after the dreams that you say that you want, not what other people think is best for you, not what you think is possible for you because you're not good enough or you're not that kind of person or you don't have enough money or resources. No, it's about deciding what you really want, what your heart's actually saying to do, and going after it. Okay. This conversation today was sparked after a consultation I did with this wonderful girl that I've been talking to over the last 6 months or so. She bought my vape course a while back, and she's finally now at the place where she's open and receiving the tools, and she actually quit vaping. She's on week number 3 as of right now. And what she said to me as we were talking, and this wasn't really even a consultation, it was just a call to check up. And she said, Andrew, I think that you're right. Now that I'm 3 weeks away from vaping, I realize that there's so many things in my life I'm not happy with, and that I was using vaping to avoid all those things. And I'm like, yes, exactly. And I'm like, what do you actually want, girl? Now that you're on the other side of vaping and you're kind of through everything. She said, what I really, really want is to be an artist. And I have this artwork and I haven't been taking action towards it for a long time. And I'm just scared that I'm not good enough to do it. And I'm scared that no one's going to buy my stuff. I'm like, okay, that's okay. Everyone's there. I wake up most days and I get hit in the face like Mike Tyson's just punching me in the face with these nasty thoughts about being an imposter, not being good enough, not being deserving of what I want, right? That happens. That's normal. But now that you've learned about the mental and the emotional addictions, how to manage your thoughts and your emotions, you can take that exact same skill set and start applying it towards actually stepping into being the artist that you want to be. The only thing stopping you right now, I promise you, is that you are believing thoughts that what you really want isn't possible. And those aren't factual. Those are just thoughts you've picked up along the way because people around you haven't decided that what they want is possible. If your parents actually were going after their dreams and they felt good about it, you would have so much less drama. But most of us grow up with parents who aren't going after their dreams because they're also believing nasty thoughts about themselves that aren't true. Your thoughts create your reality. All right? The whole podcast, everything about what I do has everything and nothing to do with vaping at the same time. I know that you want to quit vaping and that's why you're listening to this podcast, but I also know that the reason you're vaping is because you aren't that happy with the life you have aside from vaping. So we have to learn how to manage our relationship with ourselves, what we think about ourselves every single day, so that we can actually decide that what we want is possible and be courageous enough to go after it. So this isn't even a podcast about quitting vaping. It is and it isn't, but it's more about teaching you how to go after the life you want. You guys, 5 years ago, I was sitting in this exact same room. Like it's eerie looking at it now, crying on the floor every single night because I hated myself and I hated my life because I thought that my hips were too big and I was never going to find love because I wasn't deserving of it, and that what I really wanted to own a business and have a big life and be a well-known person in the world and famous and be out there and be creating amazing content that people loved, I didn't believe that shit was possible for myself. So I never even tried. And what I was left with was a horrible set of thoughts and beliefs I had about myself when I was sober. So then I turned to vaping and alcohol and weed, and this had been going on since I was a kid, right? Since I was 12 years old, I was using food to numb over all the nasty thoughts I had about myself because I thought my hips were too big and the next door neighbor kid was always going to be more attractive and more desirable than I was. So this work isn't about quitting vaping. Quitting vaping is the result you get when you start learning this work, but it's just the first step. So if you are currently on the fence about coaching with me or buying the vaping course I've been selling, whatever. I think this podcast actually has enough information in it for you to quit vaping. And that makes me a really shitty businessman because how can I make money when I'm giving you the result for free? But it's not the result of quitting vaping that I'm after for you. That is the first step. And if you ever decide to do coaching with me or go and buy the course, you're going to take these tools to the next level so that you're going to see it's not actually just about quitting vaping, and that will become the platform you use to create the life that you want. Another conversation I had with a woman this week was she's not sure if she can afford the one-on-one coaching, which is fine, right? And what I realized is the reason she's having so much drama over the price is because she's just looking at the actual results of quitting vaping. And from my perspective, it's like 1 minute, like it's not about quitting vaping, just that. Yeah, you're going to quit or you're going to create a healthy relationship where it's no longer, it's a non-issue in your life, right? But it's not about that. It's about creating the relationship you want with yourself so that on the other end of that, your life just feels better so much of the time. And then from that platform, you go, hey, you know what? That thing I've always wanted, that feels way more possible now. And then being able to step into it. The girl I talked to on the not really consultation this week, like she wants to be an artist and she really can be an artist. And from my perspective, I'm like, girl, the only thing stopping you is that you haven't learned the skill set of just managing your thoughts long enough to keep taking action until you actually become the artist you want to become. It has nothing to do with your past. It has nothing to do with your parents. It has nothing to do with the amount of money in your bank account. It has everything to do with you not believing that it's possible, and then all those circumstances become real for you because of your thoughts. I'm on some fire today. So I want to take some time today, just a couple minutes, to tell you about my success formula. It's something that I've been working on for the last 4 years. I've been trying to answer the question, like if there was a direct step-by-step framework to figuring out how to get unstuck in your life and how to actually create a life that you want, this is it. It's 5 steps. It's very simple. Step number 1, get rid of the dopamine. You've got to drop the dopamine hits for a little while, okay? Boo, boo, boo. This is not permanent. This is temporary. All right. Now, the reason why this is so important is because you have emotions in your body that are guiding you towards what you want and what you don't want. It's like we all have this natural compass of what we want. And it's like, Andrew, I don't know what I want. That's bullshit. Let me tell you why. Do you want to have a job where you make $1 million a year or a job where you make 20,000? Oh, $1 million. Okay, so you kind of do know what you want. Do you want to live in a house or do you want to be able to have enough money to travel around the world for a little while? Oh, travel. Okay, so you do know what you want. Do you want to be single your whole life or do you want to have a partner? Oh, you want to have a partner. Oh, okay, so all the things that you're telling yourself that you don't know what you want is bullshit. And the reason you're telling yourself you don't know what you want is because you're terrified to confront that if you actually decide what you want, you're not deserving of it. Ooh, so that's good. So step number 1 is cut out the dopamine hits. And the reason we do this is so you can feel the good and the bad emotions. Step number 1 is why I do the quit vaping stuff, by the way. This is my first step for you to learn how to quit vaping. Because once we learn how to feel the good and the bad emotions, and we actually allow them and feel them, what happens is magical. We start having real desires for our life again. We have been taught from a very young age to numb our emotions. The reason is because it's very profitable. If Coca-Cola can get you to buy a Coke every single day that you feel anxiety or nervous about your life or sad because you're lonely, then they can make money and they can keep you small and literally keep you giving them money to poison your body with sugar every single day. And then your dopamine's messed up, right? Once your dopamine's messed up, guess what? You don't know what you want or what you don't want. You just know you need to get quick hits of dopamine all the time to avoid whatever you have going on down there. Step number 1, cut out the dopamine. It's temporary. You don't have to do all of it, but cut out at least the stuff you know that's hurting your life. That's a great place to start. And that's why I do this. And if you want help with that and you're not ready to get full on coaching, go and buy the freaking DIY course. It's going to teach you exactly how to do that. And you're going to learn so much information about your dopamine system and why that is so important to learn how to manage for your life. Okay. Step number 2 is you're going to have to learn how to feel your shit. Okay, again, this is what the course is for, my coaching is for. I'm going to teach you how to actually step into all the emotions, the good, the bad, the ugly. And what's beautiful about that is 2 things. 1, you're going to learn that you have a really bad relationship with yourself, most likely, where you're constantly talking shit about yourself. You're negative, you're scared, you're anxious. We need to confront those emotions with compassion. Okay. Now, the second thing is that they're not all bad. Like, in addition to cutting out the dopamine, you're going to start to have some natural desires to come back. Like, when you're no longer numbing yourself with vaping every single day, it's going to be way more desirable and urgent for you to start drawing again. It's going to be more urgent for you to start making content, for you to start going on dates even, right? When you can just sit home high every single day, like dating isn't urgent. But when you're sitting home every single day in loneliness because you actually do want a partner and you're not taking action to get it, that's when you're going to have the drive. Okay? Step 1. Cut out the dopamine. Step 2, feel all the feels and start restoring your dopamine to actually have the motivation to go after it. Step number 3 is you take the first baby step. I'm not asking for you to list out the 30-year plan. That's silly. Take the first step. What's the first step, Andrew? Let's look at some examples. If you cut out vaping and you know that you want to start drawing, start drawing. If you cut out vaping and you know that you're alone, get on Tinder. Start setting up some dates. If you cut out whatever dopamine is, you're sitting there in your room and you're super bored and you're like, I have nothing meaningful to do. It's like, what would be meaningful for you? Do you want to create a business? Do you want to start making artwork? Do you want to start going out and being more social? There's an app called Time Left, I believe. I haven't done it yet, but I had a friend that did it, and he says you can literally just set up like random days to go make friends and go on dinner, and like there's talking points built into the app. It's super cool. If you cut out vaping and you're not happy with your relationships, that's really good because you can start doing the work on yourself to improve the relationship you have with yourself, setting boundaries. And from that place, if you take full responsibility for your emotions and your own boundaries and you're still unhappy, you can start making changes and start getting rid of people from your life that don't serve the vision you have for yourself. And by the way, that can be done with complete compassion for both the people in the relationship without it having to come from a negative emotion. So step number 3, take the first step. What's going to happen next is you're going to have some mind drama come up. Of course you will. The reason you don't have the results that you want right now is because of the thoughts you currently think about yourself. That's your mind drama. Everyone's got it. I get hit every single day with it. That's all good. So you need to start learning how to manage those thoughts and emotions. Remember, that's the skill set I teach you how to quit vaping. That's also the same skill set we build on to start going after the life that you really do want deep down in your heart, that you really deserve, should you decide that you want and deserve it. And by the way, this is where most people have trouble is like they'll take the first step, whatever that looks like. Like I'll set a boundary with a partner and then I actually won't follow up on it because I have this drama that I'm going to upset them or I'm not worth it or they're going to get mad or they're going to leave me and I'll be abandoned. Like all the drama. There's so much drama to work out there. So if you're having trouble with either quitting vaping, then you need to go and figure out how to manage your mind around that first, right? Go get the course. It'll completely solve your problem for good. If you're not sure that you want that, go get coaching and we'll do all 5 of these steps together. We'll show you how to do this and we'll build on so much more than just quitting vaping. So I'm pretty sure that I mixed step 3 and 4. Step 1 is cut out the dopamine. Step number 2 is to start feeling all your emotions. Step number 3 is to decide what you want and take the first baby step. And then step number 4, I believe, is managing your thoughts about it. But we're just going to call that 3 and 4. You just have to keep managing your thoughts. I promise you, every single time that you try to go after something that you really want, you're going to have drama. And the reason I know that is because if you want something and you haven't yet achieved it, the reason you haven't achieved it is because of the thought drama you have in relationship to that goal. If there wasn't thought drama, then you would have already achieved it. So expect there's going to be drama. Expect you're going to say things to yourself like, you can't do that. You're not good enough. No one's going to buy your artwork. Like, you're not the person for this job. You aren't the right person for that goal. You don't have enough money. Your parents weren't good. Your parents installed bad beliefs in you. Like, all that stuff's going to come up. And all of that is yours to work on. Step number 5 is you just keep repeating step 3, take a small step, and step 4, manage your thought about it until you get the result. This is the success formula. I'm telling you, it is this simple. And you know what? I want to hit you right between the eyes today. If you're the type of person who's saying, I don't know what I really want, or I don't know why I haven't achieved it, it's because you have thought drama, or because you're numbing out your own consciousness because you're too scared to confront the thought drama. Most people are walking around, and have you guys ever heard like asleep? Like NPCs, non-player characters, they're asleep. Like you're not awake. You know, like spiritual people always say like, I've had an awakening. What's the awakening? Really, truly, is realizing that you have a bunch of nasty beliefs about yourself and you have to do that work. People also call this shadow work. It's just doing the work on the uncomfortable things you don't want to do. Facing the uncomfortable emotions you have in your life and all the imposter syndrome and all the unworthiness so you can create the life you want. I'm going to say it again. You creating the life you want or not has nothing to do with the circumstances of your life. It does not matter how much money's in your bank account. The only thing that matters is your thoughts about that number. I'm telling you, with so much love in my body for you, that's the problem. So this work isn't about quitting vaping. And if you get on a consultation with me and you're just focusing on quitting vaping, I'm selling this wrong to you because this is about actually creating the entire life you want. It really is. So seriously, like this is the first step. If you're currently not able to manage your vices, it's going to be very difficult for you to manage your thoughts about your life at large. Because you're already not managing your thoughts because you're not even confronting them because you're using vices to do that for you. And remember, there's a ton of net negatives that come with this. Addiction, like all the guilt and the shame. Like, I'm sorry, having an issue with substances, it just decreases the relationship you have with yourself so badly. It can't not. So first step, cut that shit out. Second step, feel everything. Learn how to manage your thoughts around that. That's important. Confront it all. Step number 3, take the next logical step towards something that feels good to you. Step number 4, manage your thoughts. You're going to post something, right? You're going to go out, you're going to set a boundary. You're going to post something on Instagram. You're going to like decide that you want to go on a date. And I promise you that drama is going to come up. You're not good enough, Cheryl. Andrew, you can't be the person to help others. You weren't destined to have a good life. I used to believe that. Like this isn't your life, Andrew. And you know why I'm creating the life I want now? Because I questioned that belief. But the only reason I was able to question that is because I was able to confront it first. By cutting out the shit that I was doing that wasn't serving me, that was completely destroying the system in my brain designed for motivation and pleasure. This is a success formula. I want to help you through it. Quitting vaping is my niche right now because I'm proving to myself that I can make a business out of one thing and I'm sticking to it. I'm currently going through all my thought drama to create a result I want. And in addition, I'm going to help people make meaningful income. And I'm going to keep coaching myself and buying coaching until I get the result. If you are not in the life you want, it's because you have thought drama. And if you have not been able to get past the thought drama, and you'll know this is true because you haven't gotten the result you want yet, then you need to invest time or energy or education or money, whatever resource you've got, invest it in overcoming your thought drama. My potential client, I don't know if she's ever going to be a client, and I doesn't matter to me if she is. Like I would love her to go after it. I would love to work with her. It doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. My potential client, the only way she's ever going to actually be a successful artist is if she's able to confront the exact thought drama that put her into a life where she's living at home with her parents and not making enough money. By the way, I'm doing this every single day. I just invested $6,000 over the last 180 days. I'm 3 months through it. I have 3 months left with a coach who's helping me get through this exact thought drama because everybody has it and it just keeps unfolding in more layers. So if you want to create the life that you want and you're not currently in that, it's because of your thoughts. And if you haven't been able to overcome those thoughts yet, please, for the love of God, hire someone who can help you or you're going to stay stuck and you're going to keep blaming outside circumstances. That's it. When I first started studying psychology, and I've told you guys this on the podcast before, when I first started studying psychology, I wanted to find out why some people make it and others don't. Why is Eminem, who grew up like 30 minutes away from me on 8 Mile, like the shittiest place in Detroit, right? The most ghetto ass, like why is he able to stand up over and over and over again in front of a bunch of people who don't believe in him and keep taking action until now he's a freaking billionaire superstar? Why? Because he was able to keep managing his thoughts the entire way through. He never gave up on believing on himself. And I'm sorry, most people, they aren't just going to do that by themselves. And I bet if we look at Eminem's story with like a fork and a pick, he had coaches all the way along that were helping him believe in himself. You cannot do this alone. If you can, awesome. You're a unicorn. I can't do this alone. I've had a bunch of coaching. I'm still buying coaching. So just want to say that. Again, this isn't like a sales pitch just for my program, even though I certainly am trying to sell you into my program because this is what's going to make the difference for you. Find someone who can help you. Learn how to manage your thoughts. The thoughts are the problem every single time. And unfortunately, we've been taught how to avoid all that shit in our society. Okay, I'm on some shit today. Sorry, I'm really in it today. So anyways, please, if you've been considering getting coaching and you're like, oh, I just don't know if I'm ready or whatever, like that thought drama is the reason you haven't been successful, and coaching is what will help you get over the hump. Certainly. That's the whole point of coaching. So that's where I'm at today. I'm sorry to be like ranty about coaching and everything, but I just want to let you guys know, like, I'm staring at it now. Like, I have such a clear picture. Like, this actually is the reason why people succeed in life, whatever you want, because you can overcome this. All of the thoughts. And so far in my life, coaching is the only thing and the best thing I've ever done consistently that has gotten me through with really amazing success. So hopefully this has inspired you guys. The exact reason why you have the problem is the same exact drama that will come up when trying to overcome the problem, right? So like if you try to go and do artwork and your thoughts come up and you're going to invest in someone who can help you, you're going to have drama about that investment because of the thoughts that have brought you to the place that you're in. Does that make sense? I see it all the time. It's like, no, I can't take that first step. I can't buy the computer because like I just don't think it's going to work. I don't have the money. It's like, why don't you have the money? Because you currently believe a bunch of nasty thoughts about yourself that have created that result. So you need to literally confront all that shit and take the risk on yourself that learning how to overcome those thoughts is the solution to get the result. If you were already rich, you wouldn't need the coaching, right? If you had already quit vaping, you wouldn't need the coaching. So just be mindful of that. It's like, I just think I go through the same process, you guys. I just did it with my coach. I just did $3,000 90 days ago. And a week ago, I was sitting on a consultation with him and he's like, you need more coaching. And the reason you need more coaching is because you don't have the result that you really want yet. You don't have the money you want yet. If you had all the money you wanted, I wouldn't be on this phone call with you right now. I'm like, you're right. And he's like, you're going to have thought drama about spending $3,000 because you don't fully believe that you're going to make the investment back. You don't fully believe it's going to be worth it because you don't believe in yourself. That's the problem. So that's, of course, going to be an objection we have to overcome in order for you to invest in yourself. And I will tell you, just over the last 5 days, since I've made the second investment myself, my energy has shifted. And I'm starting to confront belief systems I have about my life and my ability to make money and all the family drama I have about me not being loved if I make a certain amount of money. I'm confronting all of that because I've intentionally invested in myself to confront those things. And I sincerely believe that if I had avoided that investment in myself, then I would have gone another 3 years making the same amount of not great income because of the thoughts I had that stopped me from making the investment. Okay, so that's what I have to say to you guys today. I'm telling you, it's like I have the golden ticket to life and I'm so excited about it. And the reason that you won't accept the golden ticket is the reason that you're stuck right now. It's just kind of ironic. So that's what I have to say. I hope this helped. This is a success formula. Stop numbing your emotions, feel all of them, take the first step, coach yourself or get coaching through all the drama, repeat, repeat, repeat. And that is how one day, a year from now, you'll look back and go, holy shit, I am actually starting to live in the life I really want. And you're still going to have mind drama about that. And that's where we get to keep coaching through it. It's the best thing ever. So if you want to quit vaping and you haven't gotten the result yet, and you're on 66 episodes of this podcast, the reason is because you still haven't confronted the thoughts and the beliefs. And I really do believe the best way to confront those is to make an investment in yourself that's kind of scary, that puts skin in the game, that forces you to confront those things. So I have a DIY course. I have my coaching. Expect you're going to get far more than quitting vaping if you coach with me. You're going to literally create a relationship with yourself where it warrants you going after your dreams and you're actually doing it. But if you want the course and you just want to quit vaping, the DIY course is a fantastic place to start. And you will learn tools just like my client did, where you'll come out of it a couple months later and you'll go, holy shit. I understand now that I was vaping to avoid all this stuff, and now I have the resources and the skill set and the tools to where I can overcome this crap and create a meaningful life for myself that's amazing and full of wonderment, and I can start dreaming for myself again. Thanks for being on this episode today. Sorry I'm a little neurotic. This is just like, I woke up this morning and I'm like, man, I feel like shit about my life. And it's like, why am I feeling like shit? Because I forgot that I'm not offering a quit vaping result. I'm offering so much more than that. And when I just focus on the quit vaping result, I'm like, blah, I don't even want to sell that. It's not fun to sell that. I don't like the business I'm building when I'm just focusing on quitting vaping. That is just the first thing you're going to get, and you're going to get so much more out of the tools that I provide. Thanks for being here. You is kind, you is smart, you is important. Get on a consult. I do have limited spots left, and I want to help you be somebody who actually creates the life that you want, whatever that looks like for you, once you learn how to courageously decide that and move forward. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next week. If you are finally ready to put this vaping struggle behind you, I'd like to invite you to join the Escape the Vape program. This podcast is such a helpful resource, but if you find yourself listening week after week but not really implementing what you're learning here, the Escape the Vape program will help you take these life-changing tools and apply them to your specific vaping goals so you can finally take control back and keep it for a lifetime. It's not just another quick fix that'll last a couple months. It's a transformation that will change your relationship with nicotine for the rest of your life from the inside out. I really hope to see you inside the program so you can apply the 3 addiction framework and put your vape struggle behind you for good. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.